there, beer tubers. Welcome back to another episode of Maxwell Starr's Beer Review. Tonight we're going to take a look at a brand new product from the Innis Gunns Brewery. We're going to take a look at their brand new Bourbon Pale Ale. Oak-aged, well, yeah, this is oak-aged beer. This is coming in at 6% ABV. This one just showed up in New Brunswick, and I think it showed up here in New Brunswick first, before Ontario or anywhere else in Canada, probably anywhere else in the world, as we're the usual test market for, basically, I'm not sure if it holds true or not, but Innis Gunns is one of our #1 imported beers into this country, and Innis Gunns loves Canada, basically. We're Canadians are basically our #1 customer, and New Brunswick is a very small market within that. But for some reason, we've been endowed with some really good beer, a good indicator of, and a small market to get into when it comes to trying new products. And usually, we see new Innis Gunns products before just about everybody else. And I like Innis Gunns, so I'm kind of happy with that. But I was talking to Albino Rhino. He hasn't seen this yet, and he basically said that, we're kind of their test market. Anyway, this is their seasonal edition, so I'm assuming Bourbon Pale Ale probably means fall. It might mean summer. This did show up here at the end of August. It's now the second week of September, so I'm finally getting to it. It says carefully matured for 22 days before release. It's a refreshing American-style pale ale aged over in bourbon-infused oak. So, yeah. This refreshing beer is an Innis Gunns homage to our favorite American pale ales. It's made with classic American hops, Amarillo and Cascade, and matured over American oak infused with bourbon. Anyway, without further ado, let's pop the lid top. Fop the top? Fap the tap. Pour that in my Innis Gunns glass. Ooh. I'm pushing it there. It's a nice looking beer. One thing about Innis Gunns these days is they've been putting them into brown bottles, which I like. Although it leaves nothing to the imagination now when it comes to. It leaves nothing to the imagination anymore when it comes to wondering what the beer is going to look like. Like, it used to be that, clear bottle, you'd be able to see what it is first. Of course, why am I even complaining about that? The first time I ever had an Innis Gunns, I didn't like it. And that was because it was their blonde. And it was in clear bottles at that time, and it had been on the shelf for a while. And it had just turned skunky. So I didn't try Innis Gunns for years after that. And then the first time I ever had an original was like, oh my god, this is good. So the rest is history after that point. I think the first time I ever had an Innis Gunns original was actually on camera for this beer review channel. And I even recounted that story about how I didn't like their blonde ale because it was skunky. And then I drank the beer and I'm like, oh my god, this is like sex in a glass. But I've had a lot of barrel-aged beers since then, so let's see what their latest ones looks like. So this is got a nice white head. It's the head's died off. I can fit the rest of my beer in here now, I think. It's got a nice pillowy appearance. Very sticky looking head. The color is kind of like a brassy hue, kind of light brass, golden appearance. The head's kind of got like a slightly yellow eggshell white kind of thing going on. Lots of carbonation coming up through that. Very carbonated. Let's give it a sniff. So the first thing I'm getting off of that is kind of like an orange kind of smell. Orange with a touch of maybe like a sweet pink grapefruit. The smell is, in general, sweet. Yeah, ever since I see the name Amarillo on here, I keep thinking like an Amarillo liqueur or something. What is Amarillo liqueur? Is that Southern? No, not Southern Comfort. Grand Marnier. Kind of like that sweet orange, almost blood orange kind of smell. Looks nice. Smells nice. Let's put this down the hatch. Cheers. Okay. Off the front, you kind of get that orange, that Amarillo orange, with a slight amount of like an orange peel bitterness kind of off the tip of the tongue. Flows down to the back, leaving a streak of like grapefruit and pine, maybe earth in the roof of the mouth. Yeah, mostly earth resin. But in the middle of the beer, and then as it kind of evaporates, it kind of blows up the circumference of the middle of your mouth with this big buttery bourbon note. And what you're left with is kind of this blood orange and butterscotch kind of taste. So I'm not sure if that really works. It's like Innis Gunn took a really nice American Pale Ale, and then, well, it's exactly what they did, and then they put oak aged like bourbon into it. The bourbon is quite nice. The body, the beer itself is quite nice, but I don't think either one really needed to be joined with each other. Because I like those flavors in different beers, and they're good on their own. When they're mixed together, they kind of clash. It's like buttery orange. No, it's good. Nice mild sweetness lingering in the back, like maybe you just ate a piece of candy. It's not cloying or overpowering, I mean, it really, I would say that it isn't enough to make you say, okay, I couldn't drink a few of these. These ones here, I mean, it might fill you up a little quicker than like a regular pale ale would. It is quite easy to drink, but I just find for an Innis Gunn beer, if you're going to drink any of their products, well, and yeah, I mean, either the rum barrel aged or the original would be the two picks I would have. Or their Scotch whiskey porter is really good. Well, the Scotch whiskey porter was good. What I'm trying to think of is the Irish whiskey stout that they made, and that was really good as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's the last couple of releases I've seen from Innis Gunn. There was that Smokin' Gun, and there was another one. It was really nice to see Innis Gunn stepping a little further out of their comfort range. But this one jumps right back towards One Trick Pony. They're saying, oh, I'm going to make a pale ale, American pale ale, and then I'm going to barrel age it. Yeah, well, it's kind of like that dilemma where I've always felt like barrel-aged IPAs don't work. The flavors of the barrel don't tend to, especially aging the barrel, or especially aging hops. No, hops fade over time. So barrel aging a hoppy beer doesn't really work. I mean, this one here is only matured for 22 days in oak, so it's really not that bad. It's the way they do it. They called it, guy from Innis Gunn at the beer fest Binarona's Beer Fest last year, it said they use like an oakinator, which is kind of like an aerator with the wood chips. So it's not just the oak staves infused in bourbon floating at the bottom. It's actually percolated so that it conveys more of the oak and more of the bourbon flavor or whatever liqueur flavor into the rest of the beer. And this one actually still has quite a nice hop complement and quite a nice amount of bourbon. It's just mixing together. It's not working for me, but I still really like it. I think it's still a quality beer. I just wouldn't say that this is my favorite Innis Gunn or even really close. So I'm going to give it a... Ooh, it's better than 3.25. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. And it sounded like I'm being quite negative on it, and 3.5 out of 5 is actually a really good rating. And it's just because when I think about giving this a 3.25 out of 5, I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not weak, at least. It's got a lot of flavor in it. I just don't think those flavors work for me. And your mileage may vary. I would say that give it a go. Go out there and try it and see if you like it. You might like this combination a lot more than I do. And but for me, yeah, I'll finish drinking this and then I'll move on to something else. Anyway, thanks for watching Maxwell Starr's beer review of Innis Gunns Bourbon Pale Ale. We'll talk to you folks later. Cheers.